Eno ni Gangamka ku Baba TV. Eno ni Gangamka ku Baba TV.
Baba TV Gangamka kwokyali webale kubeera ng'okyali naffe Simon Muyanga Lutaya, Subo Lukia, Doreen Mwesige nange Adam Kungu. Ffe tuliwo okutwala mu maaso n'enteekateeka eno tugenda mpaka saawa 5 teweerabira ku saawa 3. Munna FDC Salam Musumba agenda kubeera wano era okwongera okufuna endowooza ku nsonga ez'enjawulo ezigenda maaso mu ggwanga. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, General Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, asuubira okwogerako eri Parliament olunaku olw'enkya saawa 8 wano e Kololo. Teri asobola kwogera with certainty biki Mwami Museveni byagenda okubeera ng'akoonako olunaku olw'enkya. And actually, we can't tell what prompted him okusalawo okwogerako eri Parliament. So, nga Baba TV, we shall be bring you okwogerako omukulembeze w'eggwanga olunaku olw'enkya before the House egenda okutuula ku kisaawe e Kololo. But nga President wajja okwogera eri eggwanga, a lot of issues are happening. Bw'obanga obadde owuliza bulungi olupapula lwa New Vision olufulumye enkya olunaku olwaleero alukulembeze eggulire wano erigamba nti Museveni calls special cabinet for Friday. Mwami Museveni ayise olutuula lw'abaminisita ku lunaku olwokutaano. That is a day after his address to Parliament. And so era bakugamba wano nti Iron Sheets police summons ministers. Now abogenda osobola okugamba nti you can do some prediction of a sort. Nti Mwami Museveni nga yakamala okwogerako eri Parliament ku lwokuna ate cabinet ku nsonga z'amabaati agiyise boogere oba boogerezeganye bakubaganye ebirowoozo ku lunaku olwokutaano. Maybe bogezaako okugattagatta dots zino. You can perhaps predict nti maybe the president could talk about ensonga y'amabaati gano agagambibwa okubeera nga gagenda mu mikono emikyamu ate nga gaali gakuyamba nakudduukirira bantu ba Karamoja. So what are those likely issues? What are those issues the president is likely to talk to eri Parliament olunaku olw'enkya? Oyinza okutunuulira noga nti okay, what is the state of affairs in the country? 3 or 4 issues have dominated headlines in the last 1, 2, 3 weeks. Ensonga emu ku ezo yeeno eya amabaati Iron Sheets scandal oba Iron Sheets saga. Ensonga endala yeya homosexuality nga Parliament ya officially gyo yatandise akakiiko kali akavunaanyizibwa ku nsonga z'amateeka ka Parliament akatandise public inquest okubeera nga kawulira ebirowoozo bya bannayuganda and other stakeholders ku nsonga y'ebisiyaga mu ggwanga nga Parliament were processing etteeka lino after the first reading that was done last week. So will the president re-emphasize ensonga y'ebisiyaga? That is something we can perhaps wait and see. So olaba ensonga y'amabaati, ensonga y'ebisiyaga, but also n'ensonga ya NSSF. Like we said, the ball lies in the hands of the president to make a final decision ku recommendation za Parliament ku NSSF we bagamba Minister Amongi aberenga akwatibwa ku nkono barekulira, then ne board nayo kyekimu. Now that twalabye board ng'evaayo nti our fate lies in cabinet and the president. Will the president let go Minister Betty Amongi? Maybe that we wait and see whether the president will actually talk about it tomorrow. But also, like we said, ensonga ya Minister Princess Persis Namuganza nayo, it still hangs in balance. Nobody can certainly tell what the president's decision will be now that Parliament yamunabira mu maaso nawankubadde agenda mu Parliament n'atuula. The other day twakutegeeza wano twalaba Honorable Solomon Sirwanyi, Member of Parliament owa Bukoli Central, nga yekubira enduulu eri Speaker of Parliament nti mukyalo ono akola ki wano nga twamusensoringa twamunaabira mu maaso. What is she doing here? Speaker nga okay, I've heard you Honorable. Next item. Remember, Parliament wemala okusensoringa Minister bategeezako ku President mu mateeka in I think 24 hours. Yes, that the President is expected to take an appropriate decision thereafter nga amaze okufuna okutegeezebwako okuva eri Parliament ku nsonga, which was done. We don't know. The country up to now doesn't know position of President. What is or was his appropriate action? Could it have been a reprimand? Has he even made a decision yet, or he hasn't? So will he use this opportunity to tell Parliament about this? That we wait. So basically those four issues seem to be dominating amawulire wano mu ggwanga, but also maybe President anatubulirako ku ngendo ze zabadde akola. Twamulaba Vietnam.
Contrary to what we think as people, President Museveni is very unpredictable. While there are all these issues happening, and fetuba twebuuza naye nga President alina kyayogera. President nga talina kyakozeewo. But you see, for him he focuses on other things, while for us our focus is on what is in the papers, what is making news. For him is on other things. Era olaba nti abadde atambula. The other day he was in South Africa. Juzi yabadde Algeria. Nga ye olaba nti focus ye ateri ku bintu birala. So for us what we think are very important issues, very critical issues. For him he thinks there are even much better issues to concentrate on. Like, for example, kusakira eggwanga, like ebyensimbi, ebyenfuna by'eggwanga, amakolero, ebbula ly'emirimu, yeah? So while we think these are very critical, why hasn't he come out to comment on this and comment on that? He's usually not the kind that will react immediately to things as they happen. You remember, I'll just take you back a little bit. Ojuke, there was a time when IGP Kaihura, when former IGP, when he was IGP, and there were all issues. Kaihura this, Kaihura that. Ismanya security this, security that. No, he doesn't comment. So eventually, for him, when he does his investigations, when he does his conclusive, NAFNA conclusive reports, that's when he comes out to react on such issues. He's not reactionary as we would want him, as we would want to see him do. So nebi nebya mabati ebya binebigenda mass ebya mabati gekaramoja embuzi na bicholoza tabimanyi.
Well, you've just said what I was beginning to say. Will the president use tomorrow's address before Parliament?
He may even shock us.
Okwogera ku ngendo zizabadde akolebwa eri w'eggwanga, because I remember
that is what I think.
President yatandikira Vietnam nava
hear from him as the head of state, basically. Well,
to me, Doreen, I think, and now this is purely personal, my personal take. I think whether or not the ministers took the iron sheets, Mubutufu oba mubucham. I feel the president, I have a conviction, and a very strong one in that case, that the president, as the head of cabinet, feels embarrassed that his own ministers can, first of all, irregularly take the iron sheets, but also fail to come and convincingly address the public on the same. Doreen, let me tell you. I mean, let me just tell you. I've critically seen some of these ministers speak with a lot of impunity, with a lot of ignorance, some of them. Newankubadde nga nze naali badde appointing authority, naaliwulidde nga ndi embarrassed. For example, Doreen, how would you wake up in the morning, you a minister, n'okwata amabaati agaguliddwa ku ssente za gavumenti ng'okimanyi bulungi n'ogassa ku kiyumba eky'ebisolo ewuwo, newankubadde nga nze nkulonze enkya ngenda okuwulira nti olw'okuba wabaddewo akazito amabaati agabambuluddeko n'agajjako, tosobola butaba embarrassed.
Ate yayimirira n'agamba nti nze saagasaba, saamanya naani yagaleeta mu compound yange. In fact, nze nagenda okuzibula amaaso gali awo mu compound. I mean, those are embarrassing statements to hear from our leaders.
Yes. So I feel that Mr. President could be concerned, just like any of us.
But also, Adam, I want to believe that Mr. President knows these things are happening, but also knowing that he's the head of state and he has bodies, he has institutions that are responsible for taking care of such cases and such issues. What is the police doing about it?
No.
What is the IGG doing about it? What are the courts of law doing about it? I think he's also waiting and giving them time, because usually Tugamba, until this is a one-man state, that he runs on all the affairs of this state. So I think he's giving them time to try and exercise their rights and I mean, do their work in that regard.
We are here. I can predict that the president tomorrow will comment on the Iron Sheets saga. Now that he has, look at this, he has instructed police to take charge. We saw media reports the other day. The president yebuuza parliament gyagenda okwogereramu olunaku olw'enkya etandika ekyokunoonyereza ku nsonga eri criminal in nature. So I think the president may use tomorrow's address to make that point very clear to members of parliament, that if there are matters that are criminal, just like this, say Iron Sheets, mugirekere police n'ebitongole ebirala ebivunanyizibwa ku kunoonyereza mishandling. So I don't see anywhere ensonga y'amabaati wegenda okumisinga mu kwogera kwa president olunaku olw'enkya. Now the other issue ye ya homosexuality. Mr. President has made his position very clear to the international media. You have watched and read and listened to different interviews he has done, n'emikutu gy'amawulire egy'enjawulo w'eggwanga. And so, in fact, he was in South Africa, and he commented again on the same. Now that this matter is before Parliament, nga Parliament yatandise okuprocesinga etteeka lino, nze ndowooza olunaku olw'enkya Mwami Museveni may give his position eri Parliament ku nsonga eno, and I think now that mu 2014 etteeka lino ebbago yalisaako omukono erifuuka etteeka, kooti n'erisazaamu olw'ensonga nti koramu yali tewera. Maybe President alina very strong views ku nsonga eno, may use tomorrow's address okutegeeza kwa Parliament nti ku luno temwebulankanya. That I anticipate the president to perhaps do. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, we would want to hear his strong position on the same, because, I mean, these are issues that are affecting us. We see that some organizations cut out on aid that was coming to Uganda in form of aid to do all these other economic projects and all that. So we would want to still hear his position reaffirmed nti fenge gwanga omanyi ffe tulina kye twagala, but also as a state, as a nation, we must have a clear position. Yeah. So whether we want aid from the foreigners, whether we want the bilateral agreements that bind us as countries, still we await. I don't want to preempt what the president's speech will be, but let's wait to get to hear his address.
Particularly, Doreen, like I said in my preamble, I'm very much interested
in seeing the president make his position on
the censure of my good sister, Honorable Princess Pacis Namuganza. Kubanga nayo nsonga erabiseko mu parliament week eno, and like I said, now the ball is in the hands of the president. So the head of executive, who has the final decision on the fate of the minister that was censored by parliament, will be addressing parliament tomorrow on the same, not on the same, on a variety of issues. So what does the president have to tell parliament on this? Could he maybe say something about it? That we can't tell. But nalietazo okulaba Mwami Museveni ng'atubuulira nti okay, ntuuse wano ku nsonga za minisita ono, era ekyo musuubira n'okigattako ku ensonga ya NSSF. Because trust me, Doreen, again, I think you understand the term impunity.
Impunity is the problem of Uganda. And again, we've also debated this on this show, and we have said Uganda is not void of laws. Sinti tetuina mateeka weegali, constitution se mateeka weeri, naye how to transform those laws into, you know, how to implement them. It is the problem. It is the biggest problem actually that we have. We've talked about corruption, but what has been done about corruption? We've talked about impunity. What has been done about impunity? Tulaba abanene babera implicated in these cases. Ndoza bo amateeka tugambe nti tegabakolako oba tegabakwatako kyenkanyi.
I think Mr. Museveni, the president of this republic, again, he is on record okubeera nga ekintu ekibanga kikyamu ng'alaba kyetaagisa okwogerwako publicly. He has done that. Amagye, some of the elements in the army, bwe batandika okutulugunya ba suspects, Mwami Museveni yavaayo n'atugamba kino kikyamu era yakyogerako emirundi mingi nga kirina okukoma bunnambiro. There the president takes the credit. But now what I would expect the president to help this country with, kwe kuvaayo n'agamba ku basajja be abalina eddimu ly'okuimplementinga amateeka. Because mulimu gwa executive, police n'ebirala abalina okussa amateeka mu nkola.
Ade manyi ogenda gamba kyekiseera aveeyo ayogere ku bakazi be n'abasajja be abali ku nsonga y'amabaati
eyo
mbadde mayogera agambe ku bakazi abo n'abasajja kuba kino kyatutte bonna abakazi n'abasajja bagabana amabaati.
Onzijukiza eggwanga lyaswadde ku nsonga y'amabaati.
Twaswadde wano mbadde obwedde amaaso gange gali waneno ku statements bano baminister ze baakola about the iron sheets. Oba nkusomereko ezimu waneno olabe. Ono Jessica Alupo, the vice president, yagamba wanagamba nti I donated the iron sheets to the ongoing renovation project of Usuku Social Youth Skills Development Center in Usuku Katakwi. This youth skills center got burnt and was out of use for more than 5 years. That is Usuku in Katakwi, amabati agali ga Karamoja. Wano Robina Nabanja, Prime Minister, nagamba, it is not true that the iron sheets which were given to other areas of Uganda from the office of the Prime Minister were diverted from those of the Minister of Karamoja Affairs. Oyo, ono wekakumiro, gali mabati gawa, ge Karamoja. Wano Rebecca Kadaga, third Deputy Premier in the February 2023 tweet, agambe, this is to confirm that I requested for and received 250 iron sheets from the office of the Prime Minister